first, a Fox urgent as the world is changing again before our very eyes tonight. Right now, we're awaiting a speech from the Libyan strongman, Muammar Gaddafi, as his entire regime is hanging on the edge of collapse, as he sends the military out to murder some of his own forces. Some start to turn against him. The Al Jazeera satellite television network reports some Libyan army officers have just released a statement urging soldiers to help remove Gaddafi from power. A few hours ago, 2 warplanes from the Libyan Air Force flew from the airbase in the capital of Tripoli to the island of Malta, and officials there say the pilots have now requested asylum after superiors ordered them to bomb Libyan citizens. Some witnesses say other pilots followed those orders and fired on protesters who were marching toward Gaddafi's residence. Reports from multiple sources that hundreds are dead. On Libyan state television, Gaddafi's son denied that. But that's the same guy who earlier warned that rivers of blood will flow in Libya as his father's supporters fight to their last bullet. Already, multiple reports indicate protesters have taken control of Libya's second-largest city, and opposition forces are now aiming for the capital. It is extremely difficult to confirm exactly what's happening on the ground inside the country. As you can see, we're forced to rely on amateur video. But outside Libya, we know that Gaddafi's supporters are fading quickly. His own deputy United Nations ambassador accuses the strongman of genocide, while other Libyan ambassadors are flat out defecting. They and so many others denouncing the man who has ruled Libya for more than 4 decades. And right now, in Libya and around the world, people are waiting to hear from Muammar Gaddafi himself. Again, his comments are expected live at any moment. The Fox Sports chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt live with us tonight. Jonathan, this movement has gathered tremendous momentum just in the last 24 hours.
Absolutely, Shep, and there are 3 elements to this. First, the emerging split in the army, with some officers now clearly refusing to open fire on their own people. Add to that the split in the government. Muammar Gaddafi's justice minister resigned today, protesting what he called the excessive use of force. And then you have the fact that the violence has moved from Benghazi, the eastern city, a traditional strong bed of anti-Gaddafi hatred, to Tripoli, the Libyan leader's stronghold. Those 3 elements mean that this is the greatest challenge yet to the Arab world's longest-serving leadership. And
now, Jonathan, Washington is responding in ways we have not heard to now.
Absolutely. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton just released her most strongly worded statement yet, condemning the violence and saying, quote, "Now is the time to stop this unacceptable bloodshed. We are working urgently with friends and partners around the world to convey this message to the Libyan government." The US, of course, has had a difficult relationship with Colonel Gaddafi ever since he seized power. The US ambassador was withdrawn in 1972, the US embassy attacked by a mob in 1979, and Libya was designated a state sponsor of terror that same year. And from there, Shep, the relationship just got worse. August 19, 1981, 2 Libyan jets fire on US aircraft taking part in what officials call a routine naval exercise over the Mediterranean. The US planes fire back and shoot down both Libyan aircraft. April 5, 1986, a bomb explodes at a Berlin nightclub popular with American military personnel. 2 US servicemen die, 50 more are wounded. Libya is blamed for the attack.
The attacks were concentrated and...
President Reagan responds by ordering airstrikes on targets near the Libyan cities of Tripoli and Benghazi. At least 15 people are killed. December 21, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103 is brought down by a bomb over Lockerbie, Scotland. Among the dead, nearly 200 Americans. 3 years later, 2 Libyan intelligence agents are indicted in the US for planning the attack. Libya waits another 8 years before handing them over. In 2001, one of the agents, Abdel Basit al-Megrahi, is found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Scottish authorities free him on controversial compassionate grounds in August 2009. Now, despite the controversy over al-Megrahi's release, there was little effect on what had become, since 2003, far better relations with Libya. Colonel Gaddafi had halted all his weapons of mass destruction programs, and in 2006, Libya was removed from the US list of state sponsors of terrorism. But tonight, Shep, it appears that Colonel Gaddafi is at the very least guilty of terrorism against his own people.
Jonathan Hunt live in our newsroom. Jonathan, thanks.